Carolina Hurricane Coffee is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Live for the game, live fearless. By CarQuest. For all your automotive needs, visit your neighborhood CarQuest Auto Parts store. Great people, great products, great prices. And by Chevrolet. Brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Well, a good night to be indoors here in Uniondale, no doubt about it, as we bring you back inside storied Nassau Coliseum, meeting number 123 between these two teams. Tonight's starting goaltenders, brought to you by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. Anton Hudobin for the second consecutive game for the Hurricanes. 38 saves against Washington. That was on Thursday night. And a guy that he looked up to, and Triple talk a great deal about this tonight, Evgeny Nabokov has turned around his game. He has been outstanding of late. The Islanders have won 3 straight. He is 18th all-time with 344 wins. The referees tonight are the veteran Dan O'Halloran and Brian Pochmera. Mark Shuchek and Steve Miller on the lines. Jordan Staal, Tuomo Ruutu will kickstart this line combination along with Nathan Gerbe. Ruutu taking the spot of Patrick Dwyer on this line. A little bit of a tweak by Kirk Muller. The top line for the Islanders, they're red hot. John Tavares, Thomas Vanek, Kyle Oposo. Sit back and enjoy this one from Uniondale. Andre Sekera cleaned up by the Islanders' Thomas Hickey. Oposo for Tavares, cutting. Looking for Oposo on the give and go. Loose in back of the goal. Top of your screen, Nathan Gerbe gets to it. Carolina will attempt to clear out to center ice. Ruutu a little chip intended for Jordan, and it's played here by Andrew McDonald.
Especially against the Tavares line, the pucks have to get deep. You see how quickly they can counter. John Tavares has the best, we always talk about it, hand-eye coordination out of, I think, any player in the NHL. He batted that puck out of midair a few minutes ago. Jordan Staal losing control. Michael Grabner with a shot denied by Hudobin. And it goes out of play. We see Jack Capuano for the first time tonight. Well, his team plays a high-speed game, especially here at home. And you see it there on that first shift. That's why the Canes are going to have to be really good in managing the puck. And he says the reason that after a tough first half, they're playing well is because their competitive level has risen, allowed them to be consistent. As we take a look at the Rex Express Care injuries and scratches, Rex Healthcare chosen for excellence. Travis Hamonic coming all the way back. Flushed out by Carolina's Alexander Semenic comes out to center ice. Brett Belmore taking over ahead of Grabner. Indirect pass all the way back as we see in the Islanders zone. Now they have won 3 in a row, and they have defeated Minnesota, Boston, and Chicago in that regard. As it's chipped all the way back in Islanders ice. This has been Simmons' best game, his best venue as a Carolina Hurricane. Had 2 points the last visit here, and it's a big one for him tonight because right to our right, John, is the entire Russian Olympic coaching staff. Oh, the whole federation is here. And now Drayson Bowman, who played well in Washington, tries to make it happen. To the point, Ryan Murphy, point to point they go. John Michael Lyles to the open corner, turning with his Malhotra. Moving wide, Patrick Dwyer. He'll play it to himself. Back to the point. Murphy hinges along. Bowman goes inside. It's Malhotra. A good shift here by Carolina. They grind a cycle. One-timer Murphy goes wide of Nabokov. A wrap chance. Dwyer. Oh, the second chance. He had all kinds of open net, and he just fed it wide. Ryan Strome tries to get it out. Brock Nelson will, and the Islanders will survive. Heck of a 5-man attacking cycle. Murphy does a good job getting the puck to the net off the end boards. Dwyer rarely has that type of animated reaction, knowing that rarely, once in a blue moon, will he miss that stuff. In the center zone, Matt Martin for Casey Cizikas. Now the Islanders outfitted in their third sweaters tonight. Throw it cross ice. Cizikas broken up. Carried along now at the defense by Andrew McDonald. Wiped by Thomas Hickey. Played here by Peter Regan, and away they go. Cutting the ice in half on him, Jordan Staal, and the Islanders are offside. Heck of a hard-working shift for Patrick Dwyer and his 4 teammates, and he's just got to move on. He's such a professional, does everything so well. Rarely will you see this type of reaction, and you see. He knows that he's going to finish that 9.9 out of 10 times. Did the puck roll on him in the last second? No, it looked like he just missed it, I think.
You're the eagle eye on that one.
Well, I don't have an Eye Care Associates deal, but it didn't look to roll. We'll take another look.
Yeah, but Trip, the key is you don't need the Eye Care deal. That's the important thing. I'm as blind as a bat. Now Oposo sends it in to the corner. Justin Falk tries to move it. Oposo for the Islanders with a steal. It was by Islander captain John Tavares. Their 14th in their history. Oposo pulls up. Tied up by Justin Falk. Ruutu given a shove by Vanek. Out in front. Tavares. Hudobin swung all the way across. And now Tuomo Ruutu back out to center ice.
What a play by Falk there at the last second. Who will see his Olympic general manager, David Poile, with the Nashville Predators tomorrow night. That was a really good stick play, and he didn't take a penalty.
Carolina coming in after 2 back-to-back overtime victories. Hudobin swallows that shot taken by Cal Clutterbuck. With a Canes win tonight, all Caniacs win. Get 50% off your entire menu price online order at participating Papa John's the day after a Canes win. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Michael Grabner, guarded by Carolina's Brett Belmore. On a cycle, Clutterbuck in back of the goal. Stopping and starting on Ron Hainsey. Cal Clutterbuck holding onto it. Grabner at his side. Tries to return the favor. He's bottled up by Eric Stahl. Grabner circles, holds onto it. He'll dangle a bit, broken up here by Jeff Skinner, and out they go. Brett Belmore feathers one through the defense and all the way back. Nabokov will play it himself. No icing as it comes all the way back in the Carolina zone. Now Manny Malhotra will start in back of Anton Hudobin. Just over 4 minutes gone in period 1. John Tripp and Chantel with you as always. We're back at home tomorrow. Canes and Predators, Nashville in town. You'll see it right here on Fox Sports Carolinas, commencing with Hurricanes Live at 6:30. Brock Nelson has the puck. Back to the point now. Matt Karkner this way for Brian Strait. He'll deliver a pass down deep. They grind a cycle. The Islanders go to work. McDonald. Nelson. Ryan Strome centers one. Nobody home out in front. And it careens all the way out to center ice.
A good tie up there in front of the net for Murphy.
Former first-round pick Ryan Strome. On the target. The rebound out in front. As it went off the pads of Anton Hudobin. Carried out here by Drayson Bowman. And the Hurricanes get it deep.
That's a couple of times here where the Hurricanes have brought all 5 players, including the 2 wingers, down in front of the net. 5 in the picture. And because of that, they've had some pretty good coverage on these close crease plays.
Good pace here at the outset. 6 points. Separate these 2 teams. Travis Hamonic off the stick. The man cruising through the slot, Peter Regan. It's loose. It pinballs around and captured by Zach Boychuk. They played along the boards. Calvin DeHaan, another first-rounder. He's played 16 games at this level. Tries to make it happen. Travis Hamonic. Peter Regan out to center ice. Andre Sekera gets it deep for Carolina. Calvin DeHaan holding onto that puck. Through center ice, it goes off the stick of John Tavares all the way back. You see it up close. Snapped along by Ron Hainsey. Out to center ice. McDonald coming back. He's paired with Thomas Hickey.
Another big night for Hainsey in Washington. That key block late in regulation to get to overtime before Murphy and Skinner's heroics.
Quick hitter. Tavares is in. Thwarted on the way through. Hainsey got back and no call. Good job by Ron Hainsey.
Boy, you know, he's a veteran. He might get the benefit of the doubt, but it looked like first glance he came underneath the stick, which will help him not take a penalty, and then it wasn't on the hands. Either way, heck of a play.
Shots are 3-1 New York early. Nathan Gerby in dangerous territory. Carolina survives. They get it out. Here's Semin. Alex Semin dangling. His shot caught off by Nabokov. Played here by Thomas Vanek.
That shot is literally right underneath the Russian head coach. I mean, if you saw right underneath us too. Russian on Russian, Semin on Nabokov.
Oh, we had a great look at it. Ron Hainsey, how about this one? He's made a lot of big defensive plays this season. There's another on John Tavares. Ellen Tripp, let's take a look at your Storm Tracker tonight, which is a little bit different.
Well, because this is the start of the second half, I want to look at what the keys were to begin the season, and we'll do it throughout the night. The first one is the best players have to lead the way. And let's just look at what has happened here, starting with the third period against Montreal and Skinner's goal that led to that come-from-behind win and then beating Washington. These are three of your best players that happen to be playing on the same line. They've been plus players when it comes to plus-minus in those two games as well. So when you have that, you give yourself a chance to win on most nights. No goal scorer hotter than Skinner right now in the league. Maybe Patrick Sharp. It's a horse race.
It's a definite horse race. There's no doubt about it. Jeff Skinner coming off a 3-goal hat trick, his second career hat trick on Thursday night. Michael Grabner, shadowed by Ryan Murphy. It goes through the blue and out. Cal Clutterbuck will get it deep. Grabner in back of the goal. This way, Calvin DeHaan looking for a tip. Just wide off the broken stick of Michael Grabner.
That was a set face-off play in the New York end that Grabner, as soon as they win it, he flies the zone. Boy, they have to manage the puck, Carolina, against this speed better than they have at both blue lines.
Kirk Muller talked about that in Hurricanes Live tonight, the speed of the Islanders. How they like to funnel pucks right through the house, right through the slot. Ryan Strome, 5th overall pick in 2011, ices the puck, will swing it back.
Let's take a look at this set face-off play. And Grabner, I mean, he won the fastest skater competition in Raleigh when the All-Star game was there. As soon as they win it, off he goes. Ryan Murphy, well done. Good preparation. Video coach Chris Huffine probably involved in that prep. And because of it, he gets a wide-angle shot that he misses the target.
Malhotra facing off here for Carolina. Opposed by Ryan Strome, who was leading the AHL in scoring. At the time of this recall just a couple of weeks ago, he has the puck, and here he comes. Ryan Strome. Little dangle. The outside off the stick of Justin Falk. He plays it well, gets help from Andrej Sekera. Back out to neutral ice. Grayson Bowman threads it all the way ahead. Ryan Straight will circle. Look for Brock Nelson. He was hurried by Falk. Center zone, Ryan Strome. Tries to make it happen for the Islanders. Sekera for Carolina. Now Falk has the puck, and out they come. Tuomo Ruutu on the wing. Malhotra, his shot. Stopped by Evgeny Nabokov.
You can see Malhotra is riding a goal-scoring wave of confidence there. He shot to score there high on the short side, and Nabokov just bodied it on that short side.
Manny with a goal and an assist against the Caps on Thursday night. Out to center ice. Ron Hainsey's on the gallop. He'll get it deep. In the trapezoid, Evgeny Nabokov, the veteran. Matt Martin couldn't handle it. Belmore's shot. Blocked in front. Fought off by Thomas Hickey out of the corner. Zach Boychuk. Cizikas for the Islanders. And now the man who leads the NHL in terms of hits, Matt Martin, gives it back.
If Malhotra is not as confident as he is, he tries to shoot far side to either score or if he's got a guy driving the net. That tells me that he thinks he can put the puck exactly where he wants it, catch a goalie leaning.
Kyle Okposo, bottled up by Jordan Staal. Travis Hamonic paired with Calvin DeHaan through center ice. Over the line, Okposo riding an 8-game streak. Throws on the brakes. Threads it across, on and off the stick of Hamonic, who fights off Nathan Gerbe. A real good puck battle there. And now Jordan Staal moving wide. Patrick Dwyer, his shot patted down by Nabokov. Back out to center ice. Carolina again gets it deep.
Ruutu started the game with Jordan and Gerbe. That switch has already been made as the last shift Dwyer was back with Jordan and Ruutu with Malhotra and Bowman.
Good look at Andrej Sekera. Justin Falk on the flank. Alex Semin. Good pass for Jeff Skinner. Crisscrossing his shot. Fought off again by Nabokov. He could not squeeze it. Catch it. Now it's played here by Thomas Vanek. The former Buffalo Sabre off the stick of Jeff Skinner. He kicks it ahead, and the Islanders are offside. 9:59 left to go in the opening period. Hurricanes have 6 shots, but were scoreless on Long Island.
Back in the first, we are scoreless as we see Manny Malhotra. After Manny's eye injury in 2011, he continues to take steps to make better improvements in his play. Before every game, he'll juggle tennis balls to focus and calibrate his hand-eye coordination, plus to get his depth perception. He's juggled for years, but got the idea to do this pregame from Corey Schneider when they both played together in Vancouver, because lots of goalies do this before games to focus and kind of meditate. And by the way, we'll have Manny in the Twitter lounge at the first intermission. John and Tripp.
I used to juggle quite a bit. There was
Sure
at
you
one
did.
point I could juggle 5 balls, but unfortunately I couldn't bring that to the ice surface. And these cold temperatures, Manny's been making fun of my overcoat. He calls it a tarp. So it's good to see he's getting comfortable enough to talk about my
That's interesting.
overcoat.
People have lots to say. Now Clutterbuck.
I see that as a good thing because
Okay.
he's become so comfortable here making a great impact.
How about that stop? Mr. Hudobin leashing out with the pad on the shot taken by Calvin DeHaan, the young rookie. Eric Stahl back at his own goal. Ron Hainsey now with a quick up intended for Skinner. They need a change, so he just chips it back. And the Islanders have room to bring it out. It's DeHaan. Laid off on the wing intended for Colin McDonald, who played collegiately at Providence. And we get a stoppage here. All right, tonight's Hey, What Do You Say Queso player is Ryan Murphy. If he scores tonight, all Caniacs receive a free side of Moe's Famous Queso and hot fish chips tomorrow at any Triangle locale.
Murphy and Skinner, 2 Kitchener Rangers, they put together this game this morning where they concocted this device that you had to shoot a puck through a hole, maybe get a picture of it. Just having a good time and played the game before the morning skate.
Well, again, going to Kirk Muller and Hurricanes Live. When asked about Skinner, he said it's about having fun. I guess so. Murphy's shot denied by Evgeny Nabokov. It was by Ryan Murphy. You see it come all the way back in the Carolina zone. Lyles with good speed got to the dot. So we have icing.
It was a device that required a ton of tape, and Skinner thought he had it perfected, and then he'd go back and grab some more tape, and they had a ball instead of a puck. You had to have a certain number of touches before you could try to put the ball through the hole. It just tells you 2 guys that are having a great time, Murphy and Skinner. I'm not sure who won the game. It's great to see.
Off the face-off, it deflects over the screen in the crowd, so a souvenir. Not a bad crowd tonight here at Nassau Coliseum on a cold, wintry night.
And I had a chance to talk to Patrick Sharp after his hat trick in New Jersey last night. And I said, congratulations, Patrick, Happy New Year, etc. Good man, Pat Sharp is. He said, hey, I'm just trying to keep the pace with Skinner. He calls him Skinny because a couple of world championships ago, Skinner was on one week, Sharp on the other. And who was the centerman? John Tavares.
Not bad. What a goal he scored from the goal line last night on Marty Brodeur. He has 2 hat tricks in a week. He comes all the way back now. Ron Hainsey in control ahead of that icing line. 8:32 left, period 1. Scoreless hockey here at Nassau Coliseum.
And both those players represented by the Orr Hockey Group. So the agents, I'm sure, very pleased that the hottest guys finding the back of the net in the NHL, both represented by the former Boston defenseman, who was rather good.
Hainsey paired with a guy with a puck. Brett Belmore. Here's Eric Stahl. Pitching it by Nabokov off the glass. Calvin DeHaan. Product of the Ontario Hockey League. Franz Nielsen out to center ice. Off the stick of Cal Clutterbuck. Sekera back for Carolina. Brett Sutter in control. He played just over 5 minutes on Thursday. Now, along the boards, John Tavares gets away from Sutter. Dangles, holds onto it. Good stick by Sekera. And Boychuk will steer it out to center ice.
I mean, that's coming down to help out. I think it was Sutter. So it's a good matchup for New York. 4th line against 1st line. And Brett Sutter at the end of his shift helped Andre out.
Jordan Stahl moving on Thomas Hickey. To the corner he goes. This way, Gerby hit hard in a collision with not only Thomas Vanek, but the referee, Brian Pachmera. Sekera, Pat Dwyer at the line. Tavares got a stick to it, gulped ahead by Dwyer, and they get it deep.
After, I think turning pucks over at the New York blue line on the first couple of shifts, the Canes have gotten progressively better. With a team that skates like the Islanders do, you can't turn it over there.
Shots are 7-4 Carolina. Around the wall, Ryan Murphy. Getting to it first. Kyle Oposo. Broken up by Murphy, taken down. Seventh. Eric Stahl now on the boards. Matt Martin is dogging him. Eric stays with it. On a change, it's John Michael Lyles who takes a hit to make a play. New York would have been offside, and now coming back to it, Ryan Murphy. He's hit hard by Matt Martin. He's back out to center, and as we see, we have a pileup.
it looked like Ryan Murphy's way at the bottom of that pile. You can see his number 7. It looks like he's okay. He's right underneath there. Good to see the guys come and step up for their young defenseman. Murphy actually put himself in a bit of a tough spot here. I think that's where the onus is, on the player receiving the hit. It's a minor, if anything, and I candidly don't even know if it's a charge maybe, but not even that look. It doesn't look like Martin, a physical player, comes from that far, so.
Eric Stahl will get the penalty for coming in to police it. Roughing is the call. He leads the National Hockey League in minor penalties, and he gets one here for standing up for a teammate.
Yeah, the way that the referee O'Halloran came up with his arm, I thought he was going to call a penalty on Martin, which I didn't think there was a penalty there. But a guy that works Stanley Cup Finals like Dan O'Halloran, I'm surprised that he wouldn't allow the captain to stand up for a younger player like that just to feel non-call.
It's the Islanders' first power play, obviously, tonight. They are number 20 in that regard. They are number 14 at home. Oposo, John Tavares, moved to the outside. This is Andrew McDonald, guarded by Manny Malhotra. John Tavares holding onto it. McDonald, center point. His shot, swallowed by Anton Khudobin.
Partner, we're going to take a minute here and look at my second game key from opening night against Detroit, and it's the percentages of your penalty kill and your power play to be at least 100%. And anything beyond that is good. It hasn't been good enough. The power play's been much better of late. The penalty kill had that big double minor kill to Eric Stahl before they won a couple of nights ago on home ice against Montreal. So the one thing you have to note is that the penalty kill has a league best shorthanded goal total, which I think adds a few points to that percentage.
7 shorties, all of them scored on the road. 22nd on the kill they are, and they are number 18, they being Carolina, on the road. Along the boards now, broken up by Justin Falk. Killing time, bouncing it in on Evgeny Nabokov.
And the power play, 3 goals in the last 2 games, his 7th for his last 40, which is good too.
Now it's thrown across, broken up here by Patrick Dwyer, and it comes all the way back in the Islanders' zone. Up ice pressure by Brett Sutter on his man, McDonald. Andrew McDonald, he'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. Travis Hamonic moved off. Cal Clutterbuck through the center zone. You see the time of the power play. He'll snap it ahead. John Tavares awaits the puck. Bottled up by Brett Belmore. Loose to the corner. Ron Hainsey stood up by Clutterbuck. Out of the 4-man scrum. A good look there. Hickey at the point now. Across for Hamonic. His shot. Tipped wide. Roots him back to the goal. Brett Belmore got to it by Thomas Hickey and all the way back out.
And Belmore's got to stay on the ice, but he really bared down to get as much on that clear as he could. That was the difference of it just getting out.
Travis Hamonic. Inside it goes. They set it up again. Nelson, Clutterbuck, good stick check. Khudobin, top save on Ryan Strome. Hamonic with a shot. Fought off by Khudobin.
Khudobin's had a much better start with his rebound control. I talked to him when we got back to the hotel in Washington. The team stayed overnight. He said, I didn't like the way I handled my rebounds. Major good progression in at least the first 16 minutes in that dimension this evening.
John Michael Lyles flushed out by Peter Regan. Calvin DeHaan takes over. He goes down. A loose puck. Jeff Skinner. Casey Sasikas, a pair of number 53s. Now Nabokov hands it off to Brian Straight. Along the boards, Matt Martin taking care of Murphy. Is out of the box as Carolina has killed it off. DeHaan angles off the wall. Semin bounces one ahead. Brian Straight gets to it. Indirectly off the boards and all the way back in the Carolina zone.
That was a pretty darn good kill. It had all the elements. It had the pressure that Carolina employs when they're at their best. It had a couple of key stops, but not too heavily relied on for the most important killer, that being the goalie.
Manny Malhotra now attempts to get it deep for Carolina. Good look at Thomas Hickey, who's pinned by Grayson Bowman. Sasikas for the Islanders. Andrew McDonald skate to stick. It's Kyle Oposo. Out to center, lurking is Thomas Vanek. Played ahead of the icing line by Anton Khudobin. Carolina from their own zone. Justin Falk. Batted out of the zone by Ruutu, who gets it back. Tuomo Ruutu. Pucks off Thomas Vanek. Ruutu goes to work. Defended by Andrew McDonald. Loose to the corner. Bowman centers one. It pinballs around. And the Islanders will dodge this. Vanek, Oposo, and Tavares. Kyle Oposo delays. What a save! Anton Hooten waited him out beautifully and comes up with a 10-bell save on Kyle Oposo, one of the hottest players right now in the NHL. Called upon to be sharp early again. Anton Hudobin getting it done.
A tremendous patient save against a guy that is a very hot finisher right now. I mean, even when he went down, he did not commit. And then you needed the effort at the end of it. I mean, this is a really, really good stop. Even that he was in a position to sprawl, moving from side to side, which is the toughest thing for any goalie. And watch him here, Anton Hudobin, how upright he is in his stance, because he's not the biggest guy. He learned, actually, his goalie coach was Nabokov's father, as we talked about earlier.
Now Franz Nielsen broken up by Jordan Staal. 2:33 left to go, period one. Goalless here at Nassau Coliseum, where the Islanders started play in 1972. Jordan Staal on Thomas Hickey. Grinding a cycle, Dwyer. Hainsey a shot, blocked in front. Off Thomas Hickey. Andrew McDonald sidesteps a hit from Jordan Staal and deposits one all the way back in the Carolina zone. Chipped along by Jordan. They get it deep.
Remember watching warm-ups with Bill Ranford, the fine goalie coach for the Kings, and he was watching Hudobin. He says, that looks just like Nabokov. I said, Bill, well, it's fitting because Nabokov's father taught him how to play.
And he learned well now. Eric Staal. Numbers back for the Islanders. Alex Semin for the captain, pinned by Calvin DeHaan. Out of the corner, Semin steered along by Nabokov. Travis Hamonic sealing the wall for Carolina. Andrei Sekera. Hamonic now in control. He'll wind it back. Shots are 10-7 in favor of the New York Islanders. It's carried out here. Peter Regan with only one goal this season. Over the line. Off the stick of Andrei Sekera, and it goes out of play.
Let's take a look at the shooting game that Jeff Skinner put together. Okay, so you've got to put the puck between this little hole here. And Ryan and Jeff, they took great pride in it, and they played it before the skate. And Hudobin walked by at one point. I'll get the accent wrong, but he said, oh, the kids are playing again. The kids are playing again.
That's pretty good. I like your impersonation of our man, Anton Hudobin. There they are, roommates. A couple of former Kitchener Rangers in the Ontario Hockey League. The elder statesman, Mr. Skinner. Off the stick of DeHaan, it goes wide, shot taken by Manny Malhotra.
He told me his room number in Washington was 7-11. He got a laugh out of that because when we were in Phoenix, I said he should be in the 7-11 business because at that point, he had 7 goals in 11 nights, and he's improved upon that.
Ryan Straight now will circle back. Islanders now will start ahead. Oposo, under a minute left in period one. Here's Thomas Vanek. Travis Hamonic now will move it. Down the wall on Boychuk, out in front. Belmore tied up Tavares. Straight inside for Oposo, broken up. Radek Dvorak springs a man. It's Brett Sutter with Zach Boychuk. His shot wide of Nabokov. Sutter gets to it. Brett Sutter back to the point. Justin Folk. Blocked by Matt Kartner, not out. Radek Dvorak. Boychuk tries to center one, mopped up by the veteran Matt Kartner, who's taken down by Boychuk, who has it. Across it goes for Dvorak. He'll center one off the back of the goal. 12 seconds left in the period. Good forechecking by Carolina. Tavares from his knees. Jordan Staal a steal. Sekera thinks about it. Shoots one. Blocked on the way through. Brian Straight at the horn. That'll do it. Shots 10 for the Islanders, 7 Carolina. Ryan Murphy will be Chantel McCabe's guest when she kicks off the PNC Bank first intermission. Scoreless hockey on Long Island on Fox Sports Carolina. Back inside Nassau Coliseum, John Forslund, Trip Tracy, Chantel McCabe, who is at ice level. Jordan Staal in conversation with Brian Pakmara as we get ready for the second period.
Yeah, both these referees, Michigan natives, Brian Pakmara and Dan O'Halloran. O'Halloran, did he do the Winter Classic? I think he did.
He could have. I'm not sure myself, as we saw just that third period, and I don't recall if he did or not. I know he did work the Stanley Cup Finals. He did quite well. Wes McCauley in that situation. Now it's loose. Nathan Gerby now moves it back. Andrew McDonald out to center ice. Justin Falk broken up. Gerby sets up Jordan. His shot goes high off the stick of Andrew McDonald. And now the Islanders back out through center ice. And you see it come all the way back in the Carolina zone. Andre Sekera moves it for Justin Falk. Both teams are riding winning streaks. Carolina 2 in a row, both in overtime. Islanders have won 3 straight, their latest in overtime here Thursday night over Chicago. Nathan Gerby to the outside of Travis Hamonic, steered along by Evgeny Nabokov.
Falk jumping in on the rush there. I thought Falk's first period was razor sharp.
He had 7 shots on goal against Washington on Thursday. Franz Nielsen, short side, hung onto by Hudobin. Wrap chance denied by Anton Hudobin. Let's take a look at the numbers from period number 1, brought to you by the good people at Buffalo Brothers, the greatest tenders on planet Earth. Even Steven are all the numbers.
Boy, you're not going to see a much more even period than that. Anton Hudobin, that was a good save. He had to find his post. That puck hit one of his players, and he had to make an adjustment very quickly.
Justin Peters likely to play tomorrow night against the Nashville Predators at PNC Arena. You can see it here on Fox Sports Carolina, starting with Hurricanes Live at 6:30 as the Islanders get it deep.
Well, Peters has beaten Nashville once this year. That's the challenge right now. The Canes trying to beat the Islanders, a good team. I mean, their record is nowhere near what they are for the 3rd time, and trying to sweep a season series against the Nashville Predators, who never beat themselves, seemingly.
Carolina's won the first 2 games of this 4-game set against the Islanders. The last one will be played on March 25th. At PNC Arena. Eric Stahl. Jeff Skinner 10-2 with the skates. His shot blockered down by Nabokov. Loose along the boards. Eric Stahl seals the wall, but the Islanders escape harm, and here they come. Brock Nelson with a shot fought off. Batted down by Hudobin. Strome centers one, nobody home. Matt Karkner gets it ahead for Colin McDonald. McDonald now diagonally across for straight, and it's hung on to by Anton Hudobin.
Well, following Anton Hudobin on a daily basis, he has a foot fetish. He loves shoes. I mean, it's the most important part of a guy's clothing to him, so it's fitting. Years ago, he was coming back to Kazakhstan, and he went into a cobbler's store. And whose store was it? Vladimir Nabokov, Evgeny's father, and they started talking about hockey, and Anton took him on as a coach, and he's made a big difference in his career.
Matt Martin now gets it deep. He does wear a variety of shoes, as that one deflects the shot taken by Casey Cizikas, and it goes on to play. The faceoff will stay put in his zone.
Well, I'm telling you, team bonding event at the Angus Barn in Raleigh before the year, and I was talking to Anton, his girlfriend, and Alex Semin, his girlfriend Eliona, and Anton just ripped my shoes. He said, "Treep, you have nice outfit, but they're terrible shoes. You ruined the outfit." So it's not surprising he went into the Nabokov shoe store, and then the hockey tutelage came thereafter. He just has a fetish with shoes.
Right, and he's always right. I've seen some of his shoes. Now it's cleared all the way back. They're interesting. But they, as they say in the movie, looks good on him. Now a collision in back of the goal with Matt Martin and John Michael Lyles. Both boys go down.
So even with hybrid icing, you see one of these scary collisions. That's the reason for hybrid icing in the first place. Go no further than Joni Pitkanen. That's a dangerous play by Martin. I know the intent's not there, but this is why icing was moved to a hybrid form in the first place, because of plays like this. And fortunately, Lyles will stay on the ice for this power play.
So a tripping call, and the appropriate call was made on Matt Martin. Power play number 1 for Carolina, 24th best, tied for 15th on the road. Islanders dead last with the kill. At home, they are number 26 as it comes all the way back early in the Hurricane zone.
And by the shoe man, sets it up there, and you're right. When he was hurt, one of those sets he was wearing, the press box, look more like slippers than shoes.
See the Hurricanes accord with the power play recently. Now it's dumped out of the zone. Ryan Straight all the way down to Anton Hudobin. 30 seconds gone in the manpower advantage, and quarterbacking out to center ice is John Michael Lyles. in his second game as a Hurricane. Getting control now. Semin out in front, denied by Straight. Carried out here by Michael Grabner. The backhand dish. Cizikas, what a stop by Khudobin.
This is fun that I can look right over to my right and see the Russian brain trust for the Olympics. Beautiful view of that save.
Should the Canes put the biscuit in the basket during the Duke Energy power play tonight, Caniacs who say the winning phrase receive a free Bowberry biscuit from participating Bojangles restaurants tomorrow morning. Bojangles, it's boat time.
And Nikolai Borshevsky, one of the decision makers for the Russians. He didn't change with his expression after that Khudobin snare.
And of course they used his name in the Austin Powers original flick, as we're kind of a movie theme here tonight for some unknown reason. Now Jordan Staal centers one out in front, cleaned up at the D, broken up in the back check that time by Frans Nielsen. Sekera coming back. 4 minutes gone here just about in this second period. See the time left in the Carolina power play. Andrej Sekera feeds it in. Evgeny Nabokov, Andrew MacDonald, and back out to the center zone. Sekera, he'll wind it ahead, hard around. Top of your screen, Casey Cizikas, who scored here against Chicago Thursday. Justin Falk in control, trading places with Sekera. He'll go ahead with it. Now it's played by Nathan Gerbe. Gerbe from the wall, holding on to it inside for Jordan, a give back. Gerbe one more time. Tuomo Ruutu. Nathan Gerbe again. Here's Sekera. Now Gerbe holding. His shot. Blocked. Ruutu shut down. Nabokov, but it kicked out. Ruutu is hooked. Carolina will stay put. On the power play, they will have 8 seconds of 5-on-3 time.
Well, the Hurricanes will get a brief two-man advantage after Ruutu is stopped on the rebound from Nabokov, then draws the trip. But prior to this is a heck of a save. Khudobin, let's watch his glove. Is it in front of him? Look, it's in front of him, and that, I think, gives him an edge to play bigger. It ends up just slightly behind him, I think, because of the velocity of the shot. Biggest face-off of the game coming up right here. Does Khudobin have an edge issue, or does he just tell Bob Gorman, hey, I do? Gets a little stone on that edge, buys a couple more seconds here before this crucial draw. Potentially a veteran play by the Carolina goalie.
Good to see the shoemaker now. Eric Staal winning it back. False start on the draw. They'll do it again. A second went off the clock. Funny, a second went off Martin's penalty. No seconds went off Hickey's penalty on the scoreboard. That's interesting.
And let's see if the Hurricanes coaching staff recognizes this, because they should adjust this. They should adjust this. No time should have elapsed. I see John McClain looking up at it.
To stay with it off the draw. Eric, skate to stick Semin. His shot off Hamonic, and it's loose. Semin got to it. Frans Nielsen cradling the puck. Martin's out of the box. It's a conventional 5-on-4. Moved by Anton Khudobin. Played here by Eric Staal. He'll start his engine. The trailer is Semin cutting. His shot sealed off by Nabokov. Played to the wall by Travis Hamonic off the glass. And out of play. Coors Light Cold Hard Facts installment number 1 tonight from Long Island. It involves Jeff Skinner, the red-hot Hurricane sniper right now, with power play goals on his season right now, standing at 8, tied with Zach Parise.
Well, it's where those shots come from. They have to come from the dangerous areas. And you see, when you get there, you have success. Alex Semin just got to a dangerous area, and he just was prevented with a good butterfly save from Nabokov.
Short-handed. Casey Cizikas centers one. Chip tie by Michael Grabner. Cizikas. Ryan Murphy is on him. Grabner hits a hole. Has the puck. Michael Grabner. Denied briefly by Murphy. Alertly back it goes. Calvin DeHaan. He'll wipe it ahead. Now it's cleared all the way back. A steal again. Frans Nielsen broken up by Lyles. In control, Jeff Skinner. At the line, makes a move. To the outside of DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan on Jeff Skinner. It's a puck battle. Crowd wants a call. None provided. 42 seconds left in the power play. Good work by Staal, that being Eric. It's loose. Alex Semin broken up. Alexander Semin now, winding it back. Eric Stahl at the line. Bouncing pass. It's John Michael Lyles for Jeff Skinner. Off the stick of Calvin DeHaan. Moved along by Eric Stahl. Skinner in the corner. Back to the point, Murphy. This way, John Michael Lyles. Holding in the high slot. Turning with it is Semin. Lyles again. 14 seconds on the power play. Murphy, a spinorama. Holding onto it. Ryan Murphy across it goes. Skinner faking, delaying. Broken up. Back out. Khudobin slamming his stick. Counting out the seconds. Nielsen with a shot just wide. Hickey's out of the box. The Islanders stave it off.
That's a missed opportunity. The Canes didn't want to establish a shot. Reluctance.
Now Skinner. Through center ice. The crowd comes to life at Nassau Coliseum. Steal by Dwyer. They score! Manny Malhotra goes top shelf on Evgeny Nabokov. A beautiful feed by Patrick Dwyer. And Carolina breaks the ice.
You're not going to see a more timely goal than that when a power play does not generate momentum. I thought this was going to be icing. This looked like Bob Barker Plinko. It just bounced enough to prevent the icing from happening. First man pressure from Dwyer. Manny Malhotra off the bench and finishes for his third goal in 3 games. Boy, has he loved the glove side, Manny. And he's riding quite a streak. But compliment that bouncy puck to prevent the icing in the first place. And after that power play went awry, that's a huge one.
Patrick Dwyer in the short side held by Evgeny Nabokov. Points in 4 straight now for Manny Malhotra. 3 goals, as Tripp pointed out, in that time period. Coming off a goal and an assist in our nation's capital on Thursday night. Grayson Bowman ahead for Pat Dwyer, comes all the way back. Icing here against Carolina.
I thought for sure that puck would have made it to the icing line, and it just bounced its way to prevent it from happening. Skinner, was it Skinner that made the play just inside his own blue line? Yeah, he'll get an assist. Well, I guess they won't give an assist because the Islander player had possession. First man pursuit, second man support, and a guy that's riding a confident goal-scoring touch.
Shot taken by Vanek. Good job by Brett Belmore on him as it deflected high. Kicks back out to neutral ice. Matt Karkner has it. He'll wipe it ahead. Khudobin, a good job to slow it up. He plays it nicely for Bowman. A steal though. They walk in. Vanek, they deal. Tavares. He scores! John Tavares. Set up by Thomas Vanek. And we're tied.
Well, there's just no getting around the fact this is a very poor decision by Drayson Bowman right here. Very poor decision. Don't go up the middle unless you're absolutely sure, and especially when you're out against John Tavares and his line mates. Come up the strong side. I guess a little assist to Kartner for forcing that pressure. Bad turnover. Heck of a play from Vanek to Tavares. And Tavares makes a power move as that stick was coming from Khudobin. But that is an unforced error that's magnified because of the quick finish shortly thereafter.
You see the number on the season for the Islander captain among the league leaders in terms of total points. John Tavares now has points in 4 straight, 7 points in that time period. Vanek has extended his point streak to 8 consecutive games, and if Oposo gets an assist, it'll be 9 straight for him. Cuomo Ruutu, off McDonald, Thomas Hickey, through the center zone all the way back. Justin Falk is on it, no icing.
Well, that's the old shoot yourself in the foot type goal, and hopefully Bowman will see how he's utilized, but hopefully he'll have a short memory to move on because he played a very good game in Washington. He's just got to put that behind him. It was a bad mistake at the wrong time in the wrong place, but still a lot of hockey.
Now Cuomo Ruutu with a shot off the stick of Andrew McDonald. Matt Martin coming back for the Islanders as they set it up again. Out to center ice. Radek Dvorak. Carolina was offside, but now they tag up. McDonald, as they wind it from their own zone, Ryan Strome. Moved off. Shot by Peter Regan is read by Ryan Murphy. Brett Sutter has it for the Canes, and here he comes. He'll pitch it by Calvin DeHaan. A good look at those two. They go to the corner. Dug out by Zach Boychuk. Boychuk away from Cizikas. Holding onto it off the stick of Martin. He gets it back. Zach Boychuk with a shot. Getting a piece of it. Evgeny Nabokov now out of the corner. Brett Sutter stood up by Travis Hamonic. Boychuk cutting across. The Islanders will peel back. Good forechecking by Dvorak. Stays with it on Travis Hamonic. Matt Martin in his own zone. Carolina giving the Islanders fits here as they try to get it out, and they finally do.
And it's fourth liners, and anytime you can use them. Coaches play for the win tonight, but when you're playing against Nashville tomorrow, boy, that's a real bonus when you can get that kind of effort.
Nashville plays tonight, too. They're in Florida, so even terms. Cizikas to the outside of Hainsey. Casey Cizikas now moved along by Malhotra. Straight at the point, the puck is on edge. He sends it in. Malhotra fighting off Vanek. Moving it by Oposo. Brian Straight spinning one. Kicked out with a purpose by Hudobin. Now it's Kyle Oposo to the outside. Straight with a shot blocked in front. Kartner moves up. Feeds it across. Carolina will get it out. You're looking at Patrick Dwyer. From well out, caught by Nabokov. We get a stoppage. 9:49 left to go in the second period. Two quick goals. First it was Carolina's Manny Malhotra and New York's John Tavares.
I'm Elias Lindholm, and you're watching Fox Sports Carolina.
And he may have a golden moment tomorrow. The gold medal game, World Juniors, Malmo, Sweden. It is Finland who upset Canada today versus Team Sweden. Elias Lindholm, Erik Karlsson getting it done for Sweden.
Well, congrats to Karlsson, who's played very well for Sweden. Let's talk about Lindholm. He's playing in the middle, and he's got that edge to him that Tony McDonald, the Hurricanes' very fine director of amateur scouting, talked about when he was drafted. Hurricanes, they have a vacancy right now, the Nash injury, that third-line center spot. This is why Jim Rutherford, Ron Francis decided for him to play for Sweden, to have this type of experience, gain confidence. Good luck to Elias in winning that gold. Sorry, Tuomo, but I'm pulling for the Swedes over the Finns because of Lindholm and Karlsson.
And it will be Canada and Russia. Bronze medal before that. Now the puck comes all the way back. Andrei Sekera away from Kyle Oposo. Vanek with a shot denied by Sekera out in front. Carolina back out to center ice. You're looking at Nathan Gerbe, who throws on the brakes. Moves it across for Jordan, broken up by Vanek. We go coast to coast. It's Oposo cutting. His shot off a body wide. The rebound. Good stick. Jordan Staal ahead of Thomas Vanek, who had the assist on the goal, the lone assist on the goal scored by John Tavares.
Jordan has expectations to put points on the board, but he's had a good first half. What he does, plays like that, to deny a good chance off the end boards goes unnoticed. He does it on a nightly basis.
In the center zone, it's carried. Franz Nielsen. Rabner, good save, a sharp save by Hudobin. Out of the corner now. Ryan Murphy gets to it. Out he comes. Murphy, nice cut in half on him by Michael Grabner. Hinging is Travis Hamonic. They'll elevate a puck now to an open corner. Murphy looks around. Ryan Strome is on him. Strome attempts to win the battle. Carolina circles back. Now it's John Michael Lyle's turn. Out to center. Just pawed ahead by Kartner. Fielded by Murphy. Play continues as the Hurricanes get it deep.
And Eric Staal, I believe, has gone to the Hurricanes dressing room. I know he's been fighting a little bit of a tweak. I'm not sure. Hopefully he'll be back.
Now it's loose along the board. Zach Boychuk. Play read by Brian Straight. It goes in the Islander bench. We get a stoppage of play. 7:40 left to go in the second period. It's a good one tonight here in Uniondale. We're deadlocked at 1 on Fox Sports Carolina.
Long Island, but as John and Tripp just mentioned, tomorrow Elias Lindholm and Erik Karlsson will play for Team Sweden in the gold medal World Junior Championship game. This brings back a lot of memories for Anton Hudobin, who competed for Team Russia in the 2004 Under-18 World Junior Championship in Belarus. He told me that the tournament solidified his confidence as a goaltender, and he feels his performance to the gold was sealing the deal when he was drafted to the Minnesota Wild that same year. Plus, his father was there watching him live. It was the first time Mr. Hudobin got to see Anton play play at a national tournament. A golden moment for father and son. Guys?
Well, of course, you have those great tournaments, the Select 16, the Select 17 for 17-year-olds, the Under 18, and then the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Gartner with a shot. World Juniors for under 20s. Now it's carried here by Tuomo Ruutu. Back out in the zone, moving up Drayson Bowman. It swept along that time by Nabokov. Now Tuomo Ruutu steering it ahead. Carolina gets after it. Drayson Bowman to the point man, Ron Hainsey. Hainsey's pass, inside it goes. Jordan turning to the outside. His shot caught by Evgeny Nabokov. Eric Staal, as you pointed out, left the ice earlier, and we'll take a look at it here.
Well, you know how Fort Knoxy any type of injury is. I can tell you that I believe that this was not an injury that happened tonight. It's been something that Eric's been trying to play through. And he's going to need his brother to become even a bigger horse in the second. This is where everybody's just got to do a little bit more without the captain available. We'll see if he's done for the night.
We'll see if we get word on it. Now it's Justin Falk. D to D for Andrej Sekera. Gerby now ahead for Dwyer. Jordan, he scores! On cue, Jordan Staal makes it 2-1 Carolina.
Boy, you mentioned Borshevsky, who's literally right next to me. It was in the Austin Powers movie. This is like a movie. This is where your brother's out. You have to become a bit more of a horse. The offensive side is there for Jordan. Heck of a reload here. A reload anytime you use the defense to get yourself in the proper lanes with support and speed in the neutral zone. Dwyer is second point of the night. And Jordan gets himself behind the Islander defense and a quick snapper to beat Nabokov on the blocker side.
Two great shots have beaten him, but two great plays, both made by Patrick Dwyer on both Carolina goals. 2-1 Hurricanes now on their 19th shot. Jeff Skinner's bid blocked by Travis Hamonic. They go to the corner. Justin Falk attempts to dig it out. Hamonic is lurking over him. You see it up close. Grinding along the boards and going down Alex Semin. Sekera moving it off for Skinner. Broken up by Hamonic off the window. Not out. Skinner knocking it down. At his side now, Malhotra. Sekera just wide as they work it well. Andrej Sekera. John Michael Lyles. Moving with it now is Jeff Skinner. It's broken up. Carried out by Calvin DeHaan. Back out to center ice.
Sekera jumped in similar in the lane that Jordan did.
Open ice. Skinner shoots one. Denied Nabokov. And they score. Brett Sutter on the follow-up. As Nabokov was diving around, Brett Sutter moved in, and Carolina leads by 2.
What a moment for Brett Sutter, and he's earned it. He had a couple of key defensive plays in the first period. And with Eric Staal not available, every centerman's going to see more opportunity. Semin drives the net, which is key. And the second guy gets there first. Sutter wins that race on a post, so you could just see the energy. Freshness was on Brett Sutter's side. And what a moment for him. I thought his first period might have been his best as a Hurricane. He had a chance where he just missed on the blocker's side off the rush that he had Nabokov beat. And there he drives the net. What a goal.
So Brett Sutter scores. The Hurricanes now have a 2-goal advantage. As the play was made by Jeff Skinner. The center drive, as Tripp pointed out, from Alex Semin. Very important in terms of opening up the area for Brett Sutter to cash in. His last goal came against the Anaheim Ducks 49 games ago at this level, but it was all the way back in 2008. December 23, 2008. Hudobin handling that shot taken by Michael Grabner. Zach Boychuk over the line will scale it ahead.
Yeah, and I thought Sutter struggled against Washington. Sometimes after a recall, either your first game, because you're coming with confidence from the AHL, you either play great or you struggle. He's been so much better tonight, and he's deserving of this moment.
Well, the captain of the Charlotte Checkers, Brett Sutter, coming through after Jordan Staal gave the team a lift. 3-1 Carolina. They're on the left, Jordan Staal on the right. Get it done, and good news, Eric Staal back on the ice.
Talk about filling the void for the captain and your top centerman. 2 centermen scoring, and now to see Eric back. You know, the way he's checking that out, he may have had a skate issue, so you just don't know. You hope that's what it was. It's not a situation where you can go right from the bench to the dressing room through a tunnel, as is the case in most buildings.
Now Andrew McDonald moves it off for Thomas Hickey. McDonald moving it back. Here come the Islanders through center. Ryan Strome fanning on one, centering one between the wickets of Manny Malhotra. And it's carried out here by Carolina's Tuomo Ruutu. Drayson Bowman for Ruutu now moving deep. At the point, Ryan Murphy. The other side is John Michael Lyles. He'll get it deep. From the corner, Jordan, broken up here by Thomas Hickey, not out. Murphy inserts. Jordan and Pekka Nabokov. Stopping and starting. Moving on Ryan Strome. Jordan Staal now in control. Utilizing his large frame, protecting the puck to an open corner. Ryan Murphy with a cut. Defended by the Islanders' Thomas Hickey. And now Patrick Dwyer right out in front. Nabokov got a piece of it. And the Islanders get it out.
Eric Staal has gone back to the room. I'm convinced it's just a little tweak. I don't think we give enough credit to how, he plays every game, it seems like every year. You do have a 3-1 lead. You're playing tomorrow night. So you want to err on the side of caution if it's not anything severe, because you don't want to aggravate it to the point where it could be significant.
Now out of the corner, Nathan Gerbe. Inside for Jordan. Jordan holding onto it, given a shove this time by Casey Cizikas. They continue to grind. Jordan tries to will it out in front. A heavy hit on DeHaan. Inside it goes. Here's a chance. Off the goalpost. Alex Semin. Loose out in front. Poked all the way back in the Carolina zone. And now Justin Falk with a tight turn ahead of Matt Martin. Out to center. Punched along. Here they come. Peter Regan from outside. Turned out by Hudobin. Out of the corner, Martin for DeHaan. Fighting off a man. Regan. Good save. Hudobin. Excellent reflexes down low.
Well, his feet have been really quick through almost 2 periods of this one.
Now it's Sekera. Andre Sekera from the corner. Hampered by John Tavares. Sekera moves it. Skinner away now for Alexander Semin. He'll feather it off the boards, get it deep. And icing is called here against Carolina.
Boy, the Hurricanes, 2 goals, good plays in the neutral zone, and good board plays. Here's Semin. I think he had a little bit more room to be able to carry that puck and improve his angle. Quick feed from Anton Hudobin. Finding his post. Textbook type stuff. But for Dwyer on the Jordan goal and for Skinner on the Sutter goal, excellent board plays after neutral zone counters. I mean, that's just good stuff.
Another shot, fumbled a bit, but covered by Anton Hudobin. Off the face-off, it was Thomas Vanek.
Boy, I just love what Anton Hudobin has done. No chance on the goal. Yeah, this guy wants to be a #1 goaltender. He does. He goes about it in the right manner. He doesn't say anything. But he has some real internal confidence. And I'll tell you what, I love him mechanically. I really do. He's not a one-trick pony.
Off the draw now, Brett Belmore. To the outside, behind Zach Boychuk. Malhotra will move it ahead. It comes all the way back in the Islanders zone. Andrew McDonald broken up by Radek Dvorak to the point. Brett Belmore for the Hurricanes. Now Malhotra. Dvorak. This way for Ron Hainsey. Hainsey with a shot off his own man as it struck Zach Boychuk, who turns. And he was thwarted by Thomas Hickey.
Again, good board play. Boychuk comes out with the puck and just fans. A real power move for Zach.
Belmore lays it along for Dvorak. He'll float it out to Boychuk again. Hurricanes' former first-round pick. 2008. It goes deep. Brian Straight is on it. They'll wind it ahead. 1:45 left, period 2. 3-1 Carolina. 2 goals scored recently by Jordan Staal and Brett Sutter in back-to-back fashion. Now Franz Nielsen. Winding through the neutral zone. At the line. Hamonic to the outside. Travis Hamonic. Hudobin said no. To the corner. It goes by Cal Clutterbuck. Now Hamonic again. Jordan Staal, good defensive position. And away go the Hurricanes as they attempt to get it back out to center.
You look at Boychuk, Brett Sutter. What a job by Corey Stillman handling the forward development in the American League. Guys coming up and making a difference.
Now it's centered again. Off Patrick Dwyer. A setup by Nathan Gerbe. who had an assist on the Jordan Staal goal. Gerby in control. His shot kicked out by Nabokov. And the Islanders cover up the rebound, and here they come. Grabner in full flight. Cal Clutterbuck to the outside of Hainsey, who plays it well. Back of the goal, Grabner holding. And a good stick. Skinner on the back check on Calvin DeHaan. Carolina moves it out. Here's Semin for Brett Sutter. Sutter between Skinner and Semin. Skinner through the goal crease. Loose along the boards. Clutterbuck back out. 25 seconds left in period 2.
Skinner has made a couple of big defensive plays, one in each period, that show that there are more layers to what he's doing.
Here comes Brock Nelson. Ryan Strome, Nelson. Peppered by Hainsey. McDonald feeds it around the boards. Thomas Hickey goes deep. 3 seconds left in period 2. Hickey in the corner. The horn goes. Patrick Dwyer will be Chantel McCabe's guest. He's had a great game here tonight as she kicks off the PNC Bank second intermission after the timeout. The New York Islanders and the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, a battle inside the Metropolitan Division. The Canes have a great second period. They lead it 3-1 right here on Fox Sports Carolinas.
Carolina Hurricanes hockey is brought to you by Raleigh Orthopedics. Go where the pros go. Raleigh Orthopedic. By Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness. And by Ontario Tourism. Go fish in Ontario.com. Get hooked.
And the boys head out for the start of this third period at Nassau Coliseum. John Tripp and Chantel back with you. And how about Manny Malhotra, who scored again tonight? 3-game goal scoring streak on the line now.
And Manny would be the first to say, hey, you know, I'm going to be the same player whether I score goals or not, and they're going to need him here. The Canes are going to have to really manage pucks against this team in the third.
Playing without Eric Staal, lower body concern, will not be back tonight. Nabokov shutting the door on Jordan Staal. Now Nathan Gerby. The Canes will take on the Nashville Predators tomorrow night, PNC Arena. We thank the Hurricanes. Mike Sunheim is traveling with the team here in Uniondale. We thank him for the information on Eric Staal. Andrew McDonald now wipes it ahead. They flood that side, punched along by Brett Belmore. Jeff Skinner back out to the center zone.
And this is this next teachable moment of learning to play with the lead, where you still go for it, but you go for it making good decisions, specifically at both blue lines.
Calvin DeHaan. Cal Clutterbuck closing in off the paddle of Hudobin. It's free. Hurricanes attempt to get to it. Anton Hudobin, second consecutive start. Been outstanding here against the Islanders. Skinner, double clutch off a body, off Travis Hamonic, who has it. This way for Calvin DeHaan, not out. Fed along by Ryan Murphy. The Hurricanes attempt to keep it deep. Michael Grabner has it for New York as he throws it across.
Again, with the Russian Olympic brain trust here, you never know. Hudobin and Nabokov could be vying for a spot. 3 goaltenders taken on the Russian Olympic team.
Now, Ryan Straight back out to center ice. Colin McDonald moving in aggressively as Ryan Strome, sealed off by John Michael Lyles. To the point, Straight goes across. Karkner off the end wall, alertly covered by Anton Hudobin. Take a look at the storm tracker. As we have gone by the halfway mark, are looking at keys of the season.
Well, we talked about the first two in the first 2 periods, and the Hurricanes are obviously on the road, but I think they need to, I thought at least opening night against Detroit, a minimum of 10 games over 500 in their own building. They haven't gotten it done in the first half. However, if you look at what they did in the third period, overtime, their last home outing against Montreal, maybe that's a harbinger of things to come with their home slate in the second half, starting tomorrow against Nashville.
They're trying to go over 500 on the road with a win tonight and create more separation, at least as far as the Islanders are concerned. Islanders 6 points in back of Carolina. Carolina starting the night 3 points out of a playoff spot. Casey Cizikas now holding on to that puck. Centering one, mopped up. And a good job on the back check by Manny Malhotra. Andrew McDonald. Thomas Hickey. McDonald again, his shot. Fought off, loose, good stick. Justin Falk, it's centered out in front. Now along the boards. The Islanders attempt to win a battle. Matt Martin. Inside it's Cizikas. Casey Cizikas and now Thomas Hickey. Andrew McDonald, high slot turning. Regan. McDonald again. Off the end wall, Matt Martin. Away from Justin Falk. Leaving it there for Peter Regan. Regan up top again, Thomas Hickey. This way it's Andrew McDonald. Orister off a body, off Falk. Banned on by Sekera. Stolen by Cizikas. His shot stopped by Hudobin, who hangs on.
Falk has been simply marvelous through 2 periods. He and Andrei Sekera, 2 guys that'll be in the Olympics. The Slovaks have not announced their team, but he will be. What a play. Falk's a +2. Excellent coverage in front. I mean, that's a goal there for Martin if Falk's stick is not there. And then Anton Hudobin again is able to get a whistle when he needs it most. And you could tell from the all-inclusive access to the United States Olympic process, which was unprecedented, Justin Falk established himself on the team in the early going. He was not a bubble player.
Off the draw now, it's controlled and wheeled back out by Nathan Gerbe. Gerbe along with Jordan Staal. To the outside of Calvin DeHaan. Loose in back of the goal. Patrick Dwyer, paddle down. Evgeny Nabokov. It kicks out. Staal, Belmore, a miss hit. Knocked down by Vanek. And out they go. Thomas Vanek to an open corner. Belmore trying to get back. Kyle Oposo lost his edge. In back of the goal, Tavares over skates. Ron Hainsey stolen by Vanek. Off the stick of Kyle Oposo. Oposo now goes to work down deep. Run into Tavares. Winding it back. Goes off the stick of Patrick Dwyer and back out as the Hurricanes scale it ahead and get a line change.
How good has Dwyer been? A guy who, quite frankly, bears a lot of resemblance facially to the new Hurricane, John Michael Lyles.
Boy, those two are very close. We might take a look at that. It's centered out in front. Cal Clutterbuck now, broken up by Lyles. And again, back out to the center zone where it's slammed ahead by Matt Karkner. Lyles in deep. Karkner at the point. Easily detected by Anton Hudobin.
Okay, let's take a look at these two. Now, the straight-on profile, they look a little bit different. Okay, but it's when they start to turn. Now, this was this morning. And Pat Dwyer said, this was not his good side. Then Pat said, well, hang on, let me turn to my good side. There's some real similarities here. Now they turn. He just said, let's go to my good side.
Wow.
Both products of the CCHA, Western Michigan and Michigan State.
Hudobin seals it off. Off that face-off. This is what we do in the morning, folks. Get our camera ready. You're right on the spot. And John Michael Lyles and Patrick Dwyer each have had nice games tonight.
They really have. Product of college hockey is the NHL finds players who come from all sorts of different backgrounds to get here.
Now off the side of the goal, the feed by Grabner. Errant pass intended for Brian Straight, who comes all the way back. He'll get to it. He's paired with Matt Karkner. Flushed out by Tuomo Ruutu. And here he comes out to center ice. Nielsen. Colin McDonald. Andrei Sekera given a shove that time by Franz Nielsen. Loose in back of the goal. Good work by Brian Straight. Stolen by Carolina's Falk. They try to get it out. Chopped ahead McDonald. Broken up by Sekera. Carolina escapes harm as they get it out.
15 minutes left. Sekera and Falk, A-level shutdown defense tonight. Really good.
In the center zone, it's loose. McDonald offside. Ryan Strome. We get a stoppage. The Carolina Ale House is the host for Cool Bars. The next one is Tuesday night. The Canes will be in Buffalo. Our first look at the Sabres and Ted Nolan this season. Join your fellow Caniacs there. Log on to CarolinaHurricanes.com for more details.
By the way, Lyle's first roommate when he came out of Michigan State, played for the Colorado Avalanche, Joe Sakic. Boy, what an experience that was for him to learn from a true Hall of Famer.
Patrick Dwyer. As it's rolled ahead, John Michael Lyles is an owner of a hockey team. Part owner, as Ryan Murphy's shot deflects high. He has a franchise in the United States Hockey League, which is the prime junior league in the United States.
Yeah, and he's a product of the Culver Military Academy, where his brother also played. I do believe his brother was a defenseman like him, and his father, also named John Michael, but they call him Junior. His father is Junior, lives on the Culver campus. And he's just, when you close your eyes, Bob Gorman, one of the Hurricanes' stellar equipment managers, was talking about this today. When you close your eyes and you listen to hear him speak, he sounds just like Ray Whitney, the great Hurricane forward who now plays for Dallas.
Puck is cleared all the way back in the zone. Carolina attempts to get it out from their own end. Zach Boychuk will handle the chores, and out he comes. A lead pass at the line. The Hurricanes would have been offside. Now Brock Nelson has it, laying it off for Ryan Strome. The rookie to the outside of Belmore. Nobody home out in front. Boychuk pressured by Colin McDonald, and a collision near side and an injured Hurricane. As Brett Belmore, I believe, is down, and it is he, writhing in pain, and Pete Friesen will come out and take a look at him.
Hurricanes already lost their captain. Boy, Belmore is one tough hombre. When he goes down, it's for real. And it's almost like Belmore's trying to make sure that he regathers his faculties, but has an issue with the official, too. Let's watch here. Oh, boy. Wow. Yeah, the referee's right there, too. That's Danny O'Halloran, I think, and he was maybe blinded by the Islander player, but that is a cross-check that, you know, quite frankly, there's no place for it, because, you know, a player has to be willing to receive a hit. In the old days, that's what players receiving hits used to do. They used to throw up the elbow, throw up the stick to tell you, don't try to finish me again, but clearly that's against the rules, but Belmore looks like he's going to be okay.
All right, thank goodness he gets a stiff two-hander to the chops right here from Ryan Strome. 14:06 left to go in this third period. With a watchful eye of Pete Friesen now. Back it goes. Calvin DeHaan turning with it. Justin Falk. Patrick Dwyer, 2 assists tonight. Moved off the boards by Jordan Staal. Franz Nielsen coming all the way back. On the tape of Michael Grabner. Through center ice. Hamonic now will get it deep. Sekera for Carolina. Coming all the way back was Jordan. A good job to get it out. Calvin DeHaan. Over first-round pick, he'll wind it in. He took a heavy hit from Justin Falk. Now it goes deep. Jordan is all over the 200 by 85 tonight. Now Nathan Gerby over the line. Moves up. Looks around. Winds it across.
No, Eric Jordan, the horse has been let out of the stable. Boy, he has been good. Sekera finding that seam on the previous defensive zone outlet.
Semina steal. Skinner. Broken stick. As he brought down some banners with a backswing. Now it's deflected wide. Shot taken by Alexander Semin. Plenty of banners here. Now it goes deep. Out of the corner, DeHaan. Skinner has a new twig. Now Belmore, no worse for wear. Malhotra, Semin, backhander, what a save. Skinner sends it wide on the rebound. Now Hainsey. Inside for Semin. Here's Skinner. Belmore, his shot. Oh, Skinner overskated the rebound. He gets to it. Jeff Skinner puts on a show. Sutter off a stick. It goes high. Travis Hamonic has it. And the Islanders finally, and now finally, they get it out. Here's Thomas Vanek.
Boy, sure goals that look like from Skinner and then Sutter. And if the Islanders come back, you're going to have to remember those.
12:21 left to go in regulation time. The Hurricanes' chances were plentiful here. Semin off the pad. Skinner almost gets it done.
On to the 3-1 lead as we see a look of John Michael Liles playing in his second game as a Carolina Hurricane along with Ryan Murphy. For our Geico quote, we hear from Dave Lewis talking about Liles. He says, to be on the power play, getting familiar with the players we have, I thought he did a really good job. There's a comfort level for him. I still think he's going to grow and get used to some of the plays. His overall game was good. It was solid. So lots of impressive things that he did in the first game as a Hurricane, and very happy to see the new member of the Hurricane, John Michael Liles.
12:12 left to go in this third period. John Forslund, Trip Tracy, that was the voice of Chantel McCabe.
What I like most is the Hurricanes have done anything but hang on here in the third period. They've continued to create a forecheck like this.
Nathan Gerby. Punched along, brought out of the zone by the Islanders. Matt Martin, he'll go deep. Anton Hudobin moving the puck. Thomas Hickey, backhand shovel. Reacting to it through traffic, Hudobin. It kicks around the slot again. Batted out of midair and cleared out by Nathan Gerby.
Those are the little things late in a hockey game. Those are the things you do need when you have a 2-goal cushion. Second effort plays from a guy like Gerby when he needs to get off for a change after.
Now Murphy, away from Regan. Swept along by Radek Dvorak. Evgeny Nabokov will move it. It goes by Boychuk. Slammed ahead by the Hurricanes' Ryan Murphy.
I like seeing Semin talk to Sutter, during the commercial timeout. Semin set up Sutter. Make him feel comfortable. Of course, Sutter playing in the spot of Eric Stahl.
Hudobin had to play it. Clutterbuck sealed it off. Franz Nielsen, Michael Grabner, Karpner at the point. Here's Clutterbuck, defended by Lyles. They'll move it back for Murphy. Good play by John Michael Lyles on the reverse. Now Murphy's pass for Dvorak back out. Here they come, it's Boychuk. Laying it across for Sutter. It goes high, looking for his second. Dvorak's shot canceled by Matt Karpner. Moved along by Justin Falk, and it comes all the way back.
That was the first-round skill of Zach Boychuk. You could see, as a guy under 6 feet, why he was drafted there out of the Western League, receiving that pass and then generating a shot.
Grayson Bowman tied up by Brian Strait. They jam in the corner, and you see it up close. Tuomo Ruutu barrels in. Bowman, Malhotra, stop the rebound, stop! Ruutu had the rebound, and Nabokov came up big, loose out in front. Oh, poked off Malhotra's stick. Both with a shot denied. Evgeny Nabokov, and now Grabner is away. He'll walk in. Oh, Hudobin said yet as he came out and got that one.
Yet!
Now it comes out to center. Tavares moving away from Ruutu. John Tavares walks in. Oh, Hudobin a fine save, and he recovers and hangs on.
Borshevsky just looked at you he's sitting right next to us when he heard you say "Niet."
9:40 left to go in this third period. I was prompted, I was asked, I delivered. Yet it just had great Russian goaltending at both ends.
Well, for Nabokov keeping his team in it with 3 saves. Falk, Malhotra a couple, and then all of a sudden you think, momentum changer, Grabner, and there's Niet one, and then another Niet shortly thereafter. And these are the Russians. They're sitting right next to us. We're right to the right. Head coach, Coach Bill, and right behind him, you can't really see him that well, it's Nikolai Borshevsky. And they could hear you say Niet a couple of times, of course, no in Russian.
And again, I was asked on Twitter tonight to possibly say that. I don't mind doing that on occasion, as long as it's reasonable. I had been thinking about it. We used it a couple of times way back when with the great Artur Zerbe, if you recall.
Yeah, but he was anti-Russian because of the Soviet Union. He was very passionate about that, more pro-Latvia.
That's right. Out of the corner now. Dwyer stood up. Gerby holding onto it. Moved along. He was separated from it by Tavares, and now they get it back out. John Tavares. Thomas Vanek, defended by Justin Falk, and again rolled all the way back in the Islanders zone. Icing is called here. 8:55 left in this third period. And as we see, the Canes with a 2-goal lead.
And just to give you an idea, Caniacs, we're right next to these Russian mines. Okay, so there's Borshevsky, and the man in the middle is Coach Bill. That's what he was known when he helped out in the American Hockey League, the Phoenix Coyote organization. That's him with the gray hair. And the man with the big mop, Austin Powers star, is Nikolai Borshevsky, and they're here watching. Semin and both goaltenders.
And Coach Bill is Coach Billy Antonov. I think that's how you say it. And he is the head coach of Team Russia in the Olympics. The centerpiece of that group, the federation that has been traveling around. Nikolai Borshevsky was an outstanding National Hockey League winger, primarily with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
He sure was. He played in the alumni game in Detroit, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Mark Howes also sitting right behind us, who played in that game. And, of course, his father, Gordy, Mr. Hockey, dropped the opening face-off with Bill Lindsay.
Now it's forked ahead by Skinner, cut off by Ryan Strome, on and off the stick of Brock Nelson. Belmore tries to move it out to the corner of McDonald. Now it's played by Strome. Good stick by Brett Belmore, but Colin McDonald has it for the Islanders. He's taken down. Brock Nelson in back of Anton Hudobin. Loose along the boards. Four-man scrum. Good hustle by Brett Belmore. He takes a hit, and the Hurricanes do, in fact, get it out.
How about the toughness of Belmore? Receiving that cross-check a few minutes ago. Back on the ice, had a good offensive chance on his next shift, not normally known as an offensive blue liner.
Evgeny Nabokov, who's had a long, stellar National Hockey League career. Coors Light, cold hard facts. We'll take a look at his body of work, which has been legendary in terms of active leaders, in terms of wins.
Well, I remember sitting in Raleigh during an off day earlier this year with general manager Gus Snow, and everybody talking about how New York needs a goaltender. And they talked about Ryan Miller is going to be a free agent. And Gus said to me, hey, Tripp, what's Nabokov's career percentage? His career save percentage. About the same as Nabokov's. Both goalies have taken their teams deep in the playoffs but haven't won the cup. And Nabokov definitely has it on his side, as he should, that he's always been an ultra-popular team-first guy.
Broke in with the San Jose Sharks. At the time, they had three young goaltenders. He, of course, Vesa Toskala, and Mika Kiprasov. All three played for other teams in the National Hockey League, with Mr. Nabokov staying with the Sharks, where he played a great deal of those games and won a great deal of those 344. Now Drayson Bowman played off the boards, knocked down by Travis Hamonic, and it's whistled dead as it's brought in offside.
And we do have some stats on Nikolai Borshevsky's career here, John. And you mentioned in the second period his fine cameo in the Austin Powers, the first Austin Powers movie.
That's right.
The man had mojo. It's just that simple.
162 games at this level for Borshevsky, many more in Europe. They're right now part of the Brain Trust as they make their final decisions for the upcoming games in Sochi, which will start in February.
You keep going like you are tonight. The Russians are going to ask you to call the games for the hometown. That would be a conflict of interest because you're such a proud American.
And that would be a tough one. I would have a hard time with it. Let's just say that would cost them. Comes out to center, Nathan Gerbe. Gerbe now holding on to it. Calvin DeHaan is on him. We don't see eye to eye on some things. Now, Matt Dwyer in control.
Keep Russia in your thoughts and prayers.
That's right. Back to the goal. I don't know about that. Now it goes off to Hahn. Now it's played here by Sekera. Inside for Gerbe and by him. Justin Polk now moving up. Andrew McDonald is on him. It's loose. Turning back is Calvin DeHaan. Flushed out beautifully by Nathan Gerbe. Kyle Oposo, John Tavares. Here they come. Over the line, though, crisscross. Thomas Vanek broken up. Too fancy at the line. Now it's laid ahead. Zach Boychuk. Travis Hamonic. A good look at Boychuk as he takes the run at Travis Hamonic.
What a job sorting things out from three depth players who didn't play like they were depth there against the big boys for New York. Specifically, Southern Boychuk and then the wily veteran Radek Dvorak. What a job just inside the Carolina line.
Shots 30 Carolina, 29 Islanders. Thomas Hickey pitches one ahead. Belmore. Peter Regan given a rough ride by Brett Belmore. Now it's loose. Casey Sasikas along the boards to the point. Hamonic shot swallowed by Hudobin. No further play. 5:39 left to go in this third period. We're going down the stretch on Long Island. How about this one? Right smack dab in your living room. Again tomorrow, this time in the beautiful city of Raleigh, North Carolina, the Canes come home and take on the Nashville Predators for the second time this season. It starts with Hurricanes live at 6:30 on Fox Sports Carolinas. We see defenseman Shea Weber.
Well, with all the suspense that is going to come with Canada announcing their team early next week, one guy you know will be a shoo-in will be Shea Weber. He was there in Vancouver. He'll be there again.
Many say, although some are lobbying for Brent Seabrook to be on that team, that Duncan Keith's partner may be Shea Weber. Now Skinner off the body going down is Thomas Hickey. And now Kyle Oposo. And Team Canada's announcement will be Tuesday morning. Through the center zone off the stick of Tavares. Thomas Hickey in control. Oposo over the line. 5:12 left to go in this third period. 3-1 Carolina by 2. Skinner. Defended by Travis Hamonic. Out of the corner. Tavares coming all the way back. Thomas Vanek. Lays it off for Oposo. Cutting. His shot off Jordan Staal goes wide. Franz Nielsen on a line change. Centers one, swept along by Hudobin. Back to the point. Straight off the glass. Justin Falk in control for the Hurricanes. And out they go.
I've got to make a correction. I said that opening faceoff, Gordie Howe and Bill Lindsay. He does the analytical work for the Panthers. Of course, it was Ted Lindsay. My apologies.
Now it's moved along. Terrible Ted Lindsay, and they said that affectionately for Mr. Lindsay. Now, rolled across. Franz Nielsen out to center ice. Wilma Rutu had it, lost it. McDonald, center zone. The Islanders try to make it happen. Brian Straight paired with Andrew McDonald. 4:05 left in regulation time. Grayson Bowman hunts one down. McDonald ahead of Rutu. Now Cal Clutterbuck. Right on the tape and out. Ryan Strome. Shot taken, put off Hudobin. Rebound sent wide by Brock Nelson. Forged out of the zone by Carolina's Grayson Bowman.
Anton Hudobin knows that all players try to go high on him because he's smaller, so he tries to stay on his feet when he can. Perfect example of it there.
He has been outstanding tonight. Loose out in front. Lyles off the glass. Back out to neutral ice. Travis Hamonic now in his own zone. See the time left in period 3. Nelson at the line. Rolls it ahead for Colin McDonald by him. Belmore. Back out to center again. Hickey. He'll dust it off. Hamonic. McDonald. Now Strome. Cutting. Bennett. And again, Hudobin said no. The Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Anton Hudobin, one of many.
Well, you're not going to see a bigger save than the one he just made from Vanek, but this was actually one that was even bigger. Vanek shot the puck from between the hash marks. Oposo decided to hang on. To even get yourself in a position where you can sprawl and make that save requires incredible non-committal patience. And has he ever been good?
So Jack Capuano, former Hurricane Doug Waite at his side. Brent Thompson, the brain trust of the New York Islanders. 3:04 on the clock. And their team down by 2.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't want a guy, maybe Tavares, but other than Thomas Vanek taking the shot. I mean, it is literally the garden spot. Thomas Vanek had it right between the hash marks, and to be able to make the save that Hudobin did, really it's positional. I mean, look at it, on top of the crease. That's a timed over challenge because it's the right move. You're not going to get caught. Boy, that's the one where he stays on his feet. I said, Anton, how do you make a decision when to stay up, when to go down? He said, I can tell even in practice because I'm smaller. All players want to go high on me, so I have to make sure I stay on those feet like Irbe did when I can.
Now it's rolled ahead. Timeout called here late in this third period. Not that late. Still some time on the clock as we see Ryan Strome. Andrew McDonald. Turn it back. They have pulled the goaltender. 6 skaters out. Nielsen over the line, moves up. Franz Nielsen, circle, center one. Hudobin hangs on.
Now, most of these teams have already been selected. Like, chances are they'll be tight-lipped, but the Team Canada, Steve Yzerman and his crew have probably already decided. Certainly hope Eric Staal is a return Olympian. Anton Hudobin, based on the way he's played tonight, he was not invited to the Russian orientation camp prior to this season. I think he's one of the 3 taken.
Off the draw now. It's loose. To the point. McDonald, his shot sealed off again. No rebound. Hudobin is bumped a bit. Clear the area. Tavares was on the doorstep. And the Carolina goaltender continues to get it done.
Well, it's been clearly the biggest stride forward since the win over Washington has been his ability to control rebounds. He told me that Ovechkin came up to him after that penalty shot and said, I should have shot. And he said, yeah, I knew that you weren't going to shoot, but you've already had 500 shots in this game.
Now it comes back for Kyle Oposo. Franz Nielsen, 6 skaters again. McKinnon, Hudobin got a piece of it off Tavares. And the Hurricanes get it back out, a big hit. Skinner taken down by Oposo. 2:10 on the clock. Threaded all the way across for Thomas Vanek. Good back check. Alexander Semin knocked down by Andrew McDonald.
Unselfish play by Skinner there, not going for the empty net. Well, they're going to call penalty on Carolina. What are the lip service from the bench?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Alexander Semin is guilty.
Semin thought that he received a slash when he went for the empty net, and he probably had a good argument. Semin shot for the empty net, and he thought that he had drawn a penalty. I think he had a good argument. I think this is where Brian Pakmara has to maybe give the guy a little leniency, but you can't do it if you're Semin. It was right as Semin was inside his own blue line, firing for the empty net. Here he is. That's a slash. It's a missed call, no doubt about it. Boy, oh boy, they've missed the first one often, but they always get the second.
Power play ensues now. Semin for unsportsmanlike conduct. Again, empty net scenario. 6-on-4. But the Islanders cannot gain entry. McDonald pushes ahead. Gloved out of play by Jordan Staal. 90 seconds left. 1:34 left on the penalty to Mr. Semin.
Boy, the Hurricanes have really held the line beautifully here in this third period across the board. It forces dump-ins, and there you have the practically 7-foot frame of Jordan Staal getting up like he's playing for the Charlotte, the Horn, whatever they are in the NBA, and causes the whistle.
Now it's played here. Nielsen tries to walk in. Sekera, forechecked. Tavares, Nielsen, everybody up for the Islanders. Rolled around the boards to the point. Ryan Strome. Turning is Kyle Oposo. Throwing on the brakes. 67 seconds left. Oposo. McDonald, here it comes. Hudobin says no. He hangs on.
Wow, has he been exceptional. That puck was tipped, and he still made the save and held on for the rebound. Anton's had one of those nights. Look at him. You see, when a guy's on, he looks through traffic. He doesn't say, well, I can't see, and throws up the surrender flag. He looks around. He works on these drills in practice, and that's a big part of moving over and even getting himself in a position to make the save and cover.
61 seconds left as we see. Jordan. And Oposo on the draw. Back of the goal, Vanek. Off the stick of Falk. Oposo. Hamonic at the point. Kyle Oposo. Tavares in the high slot through the middle. Strome. Hudobin said no again. They dump it all the way out. Just wide. Hamonic now gets to it. 40 seconds left. Andrew McDonald moves up. Throws it around. It pops out. John Tavares. This way for Ryan Strome. One-timer McDonald. They score! Tipped. Thomas Vanek. 24.2 seconds left. Islanders within one.
Vanek's point streak continues. This puck was going low and ends up high. Nothing Hudobin could do about it. You see right in front of the crease is Vanek. He uses that short stick. He's told me before it's because he can do things in tight areas. It's for as big of a guy as he is, it's about as small of a stick as you could ever use, and it's for reasons like this. He has more control to be able to create this tip. Okay, so here's the key. Islander goalie, Nabokov already out.
Still out. Player back out of the box. 20 seconds left. Here they come. Tavares off the stick of Bowman. It goes out of play.
This is showing tremendous confidence in Drayson Bowman, who uses a very long stick for defensive reasons, among others. He made a key mistake on a goal earlier in the game, and now it's every bit of the length of the stick. Bowman right here, along with Malhotra. Biggest face-off of the game coming up right here, and it's going to be Manny to try to win it on the backhand.
Manny Malhotra and John Tavares. Manny gets it out. 12 seconds on the clock. McDonald. Hudobin's directing traffic. Falk is on it. Along the boards. 5 seconds left. Hammered, blocked. Good block that time by Falk. Turning, a shot. What a save! He said yet again at the horn. Anton Hudobin, and the Hurricanes win on Long Island.
Borshevsky just looked at you again. He said niet, and he said do svidaniya. Back to Raleigh with 2 points. What a game. Boy, oh boy, Manny Malhotra, I think, surprised Tavares by actually going forward and clearing the puck, but a quick counter from the Islanders. And through the Vanek screen, he locates it, snares it. You can just see it from Vanek, the disbelief of a goaltender who was in the zone tonight in a battle of 2 netminders from Kazakhstan. What a win.
38 saves, back-to-back games. Washington, now this. First star without question, Anton Hudobin. An outstanding effort. The Hurricanes have won 3 games in a row. They stopped the 3-game winning streak of the New York Islanders. A very important victory inside the Metropolitan Division. Mr. Anton Hudobin, none better tonight with all of these saves. An outstanding effort foiling Thomas Vanek. They came in red hot, and Mr. Hudobin had none of that. Stick around, we'll have Hurricanes Live. Total post-game coverage from Nassau Coliseum. Tonight's 3 stars, post-game interviews. We'll break it all down. Final count, Carolina 3, the New York Islanders 2 on Fox Sports Carolinas.